Justice workers are upset that the decree have not come through. I understand that they're on a go-slow. Minister Richardson, could you tell us exactly what is happening with the justice workers?
Sure, thank you. So unfortunately, quite by surprise for us, let me go back to the budget. So the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Finance worked very closely together to be able to confirm the calculations that were done by the Ministry of Justice. It is really something that should be done by the Ministry of Finance, but due to their expression of having limited staff to be able to dedicate to the calculations for justice, finance, financial department took it up. And in particular, one individual, and I've been speaking of her all the time, is Mrs. Saskia Thomas Solomon. She's planning and control for the Ministry of Justice. She dedicated, you could say, the full half of 2023 just trying to pull the information from the historical data from our loan and salaries department, all the historical information about persons' pay scales, vacation pay, dark hours, everything that they were entitled to. She basically worked endlessly on a spreadsheet, bringing almost 700 and something justice workers, or over 700 and something justice workers, information. Very tedious work, very confidential work. And so we were able to get those calculations and identify that as a country, the island owes the justice workers over 40 million guilders in retroactive, as well as what it will be subjected to going forward. She refers to it as a bleed, and that is something that she's trying to stop. That we are all trying to stop. And when we say stop, we are trying to be able to issue the Landsbesleuth or the national decrees immediately to be able to confirm the debt, confirm what each staff is entitled to, and then work our way backwards with the retroactive. So when we were successful in getting the budget passed in December, we were very, very excited. And I even announced on the floor of Parliament that some 200 of these individual national decrees were prepared and ready to send on to the governor. But of course, they have to go through the control path through finance. To our surprise, we received those LBs back from the Ministry of Finance, indicating that they want or would like to have an additional document inserted for each and every one of those staff. That means, or quite specifically, to have the breakdown of the calculation per staff presented. This is not something that was communicated prior to. This is something that requires, again, meticulous calculations and the extraction per individual taken out and presented. So this, of course, has thrust us into a situation where it now slows down the process of getting these LBs pushed through. And I say it from the standpoint that it is quite a surprise, because I would have believed that the time it took for us to get the budget done, the time it took for us to confirm that the calculations were done correctly so that the governor was able to sign the justice package, this would have been communicated. We could have gotten the support staff, be it from an external source, to help us put this together. We could have, like I said, I'm a hands-on minister. Right. You just have to communicate with me and let me know what it is, and I will make it happen. But this came as a surprise to us. And so now, yes, we have our police officers and our immigration officers who are very disgruntled, very upset. And I can understand. I can understand because, and I've always understood. However, this is not the Ministry of Justice that is causing this delay. This is not the Ministry of Justice that is not doing what it's supposed to. We have done what we're supposed to. But there is a control system. The Ministry of Finance has to ensure their aspect, and they have now put a request that a certain additional breakdown must be inserted and available in order for them to sign for the LBAs to carry on to the governor. And mind you, when it reaches to the governor's cabinet too, there again, the governor is going to ensure, the cabinet is going to ensure that prior to him signing, all is in order. Yeah, so this is where we are, and I find it very, very unfortunate.
Do you have any idea when things will get settling back to normal, that the go slow that they're currently on will,
it puts me in a very vulnerable space to be able to state that I am not certain. But of course, I'm doing everything within my power to see that we do what we are asked. If that is what it's going to take in order to get the signatures that are necessary so it can follow on through, we're going to do what we have to do. I can say that yesterday I spent the entire day with my staff that is busy with this. A batch has been prepared according to what the Ministry of Finance has requested. We saw to it that it was delivered to the Control Department of Finance, and the hope is that we have met what has been requested. The belief is that once we have this first batch approved and goes through, then the system can move faster, because now we're doing what it is they want, and the hope and goal is that we will send batches of 25 on at least a weekly basis. Of course, we're going to try to do more, but again, it is a limited staff that is available to do this. We're trying to get external assistance to support us with it, but I wish that this information had been communicated sooner and not allow us to arrive to a point where, again, we're in a space where they call it go slow, but it's a strike. It's a strike, and it negatively, look at our airport. And immigration officers walk off, and you have a tourism, a destination where we are expecting and welcoming guests from around the world, and this is what they're subjected to. I was made to understand that the traffic that came about yesterday, I called the chief of police and I asked if this was a part of the demonstration. He said to me, I assure you 110% it is not. It is a matter that a truck broke down somewhere and police had to redirect the traffic, and so for that reason, because technically it is illegal to use government's property to demonstrate, to strike. So I have to, as minister as well, monitor that. I totally understand their position, but we have to do things the right way. And, so there's no obstruction to you standing your ground with the way you feel. I would hope that my officers would recognize that it is not their minister that is doing anything adverse to what is supposed to be done, but actually pushing to get it done. However, we did not anticipate this additional request, and that is why we are in the delay.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, RBC is a bank for all of you.
Social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
It's been a long trajectory, that's for sure. So So the actual foundation was established in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. But before that, we were having a lot of talks. We recognized since my appointment with as director with Safe Haven, very quickly we recognized that we were missing a very important component, which was an intermediary between justice and the community as it involved victims. And so we started thinking about this victim support services from way long before 2019, 2018. So when the appointmentship with Minister Richardson, it was a really, really brilliant opportunity because I was able to really engage with her, and she really understood the assignment, let's say. She really understood the assignment because with the other ministers that I tried to talk to about having this established, it was a no-go. So with the appointment of Minister Richardson, we worked on it. It was finally established in 2021. There was some issues with financing and trying to get that structured, and then we finally was provided the funding in 2024.
Okay.
Right? So yeah,
There it is.
Voila, there it is.
Now talk to us quickly about getting started.
Yes.
And when will this go into full effect?
Right. So we're looking to move into the facilities in March. However, the work has already been started. If we're looking at one-on-one sort of victim support, I've been already doing that. Even before I signed my contract on January 15th. So I started actually really solidifying those relationships probably before in 2023, the beginning part of 2023, and then executing with services, with meeting with victims, again, even before signing that working contract with my board, probably by November. I was working with some key stakeholders, the prosecutor's office, already carrying that out. But that's just part and parcel about what victim support services is, right? So it's not just the one-on-one,
Right.
which is important, but it's also the community development, the information sharing, the bringing about the issues, and then also building knowledge in capacity around that, so that your community also knows how not to become victims, and then hopefully also deterring those that perpetrate not to perpetrate. So March.
March?
Yes, March we move in. We've already started the work, hoping to execute some info sessions, which we've already built. Some of the information, already solidified some appointments with different institutions, one of them being education, and then with your community organizations, and we're hoping to carry those out in April.
SXM, your social and health insurances. SXM, your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, is a bank for all of you.
It's time for a new brand that is as bold, vibrant, and colorful as the island of St. Martin, with colors drawn from our diversity, cultural heritage, and nature. Our breathtaking beaches, waters, and sun, the majestic brown pelican, our national symbol, the radiant yellow sage, our national flower, the historic border monument signifying the Dutch and French side, our exciting cruise, yachting, and boating ports, renowned Maho Beach and St. Martin Airport, the hub to the Caribbean. All these parts come together to create the shape of the island of St. Martin. More than a logo. It's a new brand that engages, excites, and will inspire travelers to book. It's time to tell the St. Martin story, to reintroduce travelers to St. Martin, to honor our past, to embrace our present, and shape our future. Our culture and diversity, Dutch and French sides, unrivaled cuisine, twice the nightlife, entertainment, and shopping, cruises, boating, and yachting, twice the adventure, exploration, and relaxation, splendid and scenic accommodations, Pinel, Tentamar, and island hopping in the Caribbean. Whatever your taste, St. Martin has more. Experience twice the Caribbean. St. Martin.
Members of the public have painted a dismal picture of the stewardship of municipal corporations on the issues of parochial roads, drain upkeep, street light maintenance, markets, water quality, and cemeteries. And while 62% of Jamaicans say they are aware of the name of the councillor that represents their divisions, 53% of those polled say they are unhappy with the frequency with which councillors make their presence felt. Speaking to supporters in Portland on Monday, Mr. Holness indicated that campaigning for the February 26 local government election has also given him the opportunity to better understand the problems in local governance.
We cannot keep local government in the way that it has been for the last 50 years. Councillors have an important role to play in the development of their community. Councillors must be present in their divisions. Councillors must know their people. Councillors must pay attention to the issues of their community. And it is not all the time that we have active councillors. And we cannot ignore the fact of what has been said in the polls regarding how people feel about their local government.
He says coming out of next week's election, local governance will be transformed to make it more effective.
The management of your municipal affairs is not only about money. It is also about planning, it is about vigilance, it is about follow-up, and it is about presence. If garbage isn't collected, it is not sufficient to say there is no garbage truck. Because many times there is a garbage truck. And the scheduling of the garbage truck is not properly done.
Mayoral candidate for the People's National Party, Leon Thomas, is calling for a peaceful campaign in the municipality after a PNP campaign sign was removed from its posted location. It's understood that the sign in question was taken down to facilitate work along the roadside. Jamaica Labour Party candidate for the Gregory Park Division, Joy Brown, says she was given the go-ahead to remove one sign.
I and the engineer came here last week and we decided to bring to here. To bring to right here. Right? So the workmen came today and couldn't do them work. I spoke to the engineer. I spoke to Mr. Campbell from council, telling them about the obstruction of the sign. Right? I called the mayor. I can't verify it in my phone twice, yesterday and today, and he did not answer. This sign obstruct the work. This sign was too low right down here.
But Mr. Thomas insists that sign was not an obstruction.
The work that is being done there done by the Portmore City Municipal Corporation. And I'm saying that if there's a sign impeding anything at all, the engineer will indicate to me, right, that the sign is impeding the work. And there was no work going on there at the time, right, for she to remove the sign or damage the sign. The engineer will call me to tell me if there is any problem with any placement of signs within the municipality. Not for the councillor to go there with her entourage to damage the sign.
In light of the growing tension, Mr. Thomas is appealing for a peaceful campaign in the municipality. He says this kind of issue brings in focus the need for the office of the political ombudsman. The matter has since been reported to the police. Kerry-Ann Simpson, TVJ News.